Chapter 39 From Omeros by Derek Walcott. Part 1. The great headstones lifted like the keels of carracks from Ireland's groundswell, and spray foamed on the walls of the broken abbey. That silver was the lake's, a salver held by a tonsured hill. The old well's silence increased as gravel was crunched by pilgrims following the monk's footpath. Silence was in flower. It widened the furrows like a gap between hymns, if that pause were protracted hour after hour by century-ringed oaks, by a square Celtic cross, by wafers of snowdrops from the day webbed mortar had cinched the stone to the whisk of a sorrel horse grazing its station. In it, a paper aspen rustled its missile. Its encircling power lifted the midges in vertiginous Latin, then sailed a rook into the slit of a tower like a card in a postbox. It waxed a tea-van, draped a booth with sweaters. Then it crossed the dry road to hear a brook talk the old language of Ireland. There it filled a bucket and carried the clear load for the sorrel to nuzzle with ruffling nostrils. The weight of the place, its handle, its ancient name for wood with a lake or abbey with hooded hills, rooted in the bucket's clang, echoed the old shame of disenfranchisement. I had no oasis, no pebbled language to drink from like a calm horse or pilgrim lapping up soul-watering places. The grass was brighter with envy. Then my remorse was a clouding sun. The sorrel swaying its whisk, the panes of blue sky in the abbey were all set in a past as old as Glendalought's obelisk, when alder and aspen aged in one alphabet. The child-voiced brook repeated history's lesson as an elder clapped its leaves in approbation, until others swayed to the old self-possession for which faith is known, but which faith in a nation split by a glottal scream, by a sparrow's chirrup, where a prayer incised in a cross, a Celtic rune, could send the horse circling with empty stirrup from a sniper's bolt. Here, from this abbey's ruin, if the rook flew north with its funereal caw, far from this baptismal font, this silver weir, too high for inspection as it crossed the border, it would see a street that ended in wreaths of wire, while a hearse with drizzling lights waits for an order in a sharp accent, making the black boots move on in scraping syllables, the gun on its shoulder still splitting airs, dividing a shem from a shawn, and Ireland no wiser as it got older. Part 2. Though all its wiry hedgerows startle the spirit, when the ancient letters rise to a tinker's spoon, banging a saucepan, those fields which they inherit hide stones white-knuckled with hatred. A pitted moon mounted the green pulpit of Sugarloaf Mountain in its wax collar. Along a yew-guarded road a cloud hung from a branch in the orange hour, like a shirt that was stained with poetry and with blood. The wick of the cypress charred. Glendalought's tower. Part 3. I leant on the mossed embankment just as if he bloomed there every dusk, with eye patch and tilted hat, rakish cane on one shoulder. Along the Liffey, the mansards dimmed to one indigo silhouette. Then a stroke of light brushed the honey-haired river, and there, in black cloche hat and coat, she scurried faster to the changing rose of a light. Anna Livia, muse of our age's Omeros, undimmed master and true tenor of the place. So where was my gaunt, cane-twirling flaneur? I blessed myself in his voice, and climbed up the wooden stairs to the restaurant, with its brass spigots, its glints, its beer-brightened noise. "There's a bower of roses by Bendemeer's stream," was one of the airs Maud Plunkett played, from Moore perhaps, and I murmured along with them. Its theme, as each felted oar lifted and dipped with hammer-like strokes, was that of an adoring sunflower turning bright hair to her major. And then I saw him. The dead were singing in fringed shawls. The wick-low shade leapt high and rouged their cold cheeks with vermilion round the pub piano. The air Maud Plunkett played, rowing her with felt hammer-strokes from my island to one with bright doors and cobbles, and then Mr. Joyce led us all, as gently as Hoth when it drizzles, his voice like sun-drizzled Hoth, its violet lees of moss at low tide, where a dog barks, "Hoth! Hoth!" at the shawled waves, and the stone I rubbed in my pocket from the martello brought one-eyed Ulysses to the copper-bright strand, watching the mail packet butting past the head, its wake glittering like keys.